Yo, what's up? I think. Alright, I already talked about this game. It's the draws the random. Okay. Let me turn my music on so you don't have to listen to just me for the whole time. That might be really loud actually. Okay, should be fine. Let's see. So starting off, we got this build, which is good. I think I told you to do this build. Um, whatever, draw. Rubik's got the boots and stuff. He's got the one tap one, so this is all fine. Like I still don't think you should get clarity as disruptor, but if you really want, I guess it's fine. But you should probably start one sentry, in case they block your camp, or you just get a feeling where their ward is. I guess we'll see what the Kunkka buys. What is this Kunkka? Offlane Kunkka? Creme blade. Yeah, that's fine. It's actually a very good build. It's what I usually buy. So, like again, you should really consider stacking 3 people on one rune. I know that this drow is not part of your stack, but like I can already see that something bad is gonna happen here, right? Like you're standing on the low ground, they just wrap on you. Like you should be dead here, but they might not have enough damage. Yeah, I mean this is just what happens when you don't stack on a rune and you play safe on it, because now you have to use your salve, I think. Yeah, you're still dead. Yeah. I mean, if you stack on a rune, this will never happen. And then you're not even gonna get these runes either, because it's just 2v2 fight. It's a good torrent. You should use your Fade Bolt here. Like, if they're... I think last time I told you not to just randomly Fade Bolt, but if they're actively fighting your Kunkka, you should probably just do it to reduce damage, so he doesn't take a billion damage, right? Here you should finish... Not finish, you should buy a Salve. You guys can move your Chorus. I already said last time. Um... Let's see, like, you should already be aggroing backwards, because you're ranged hero against melee hero, right? So you want to pull these 3 onto your range creep, and then he has to walk up to hit the range creep to last hit it, otherwise it gets denied, and you just start attacking him from like back here or something. You just do like a lot of autos on him, and that will force out his regen, and then he can't buy stat items. Um, I guess I'll do this lane by lane. So this is a good drag. It's what you generally want to do. Usually, what you have to do here is drag it back again after this, but I can show you. Actually, I'm gonna show you in the demo mode right now. Like so the idea of offlane is that you want to basically play the lane close to your tower, right? So this is how you do it. I'll spawn enemy, so I have something to aggro off. Okay, um, so you do this, and then you walk back to drag the creeps onto here, right? Now, after this, wait, I'm gonna restart it actually. So you basically have to chain aggro backwards. I'll just put an enemy anywhere. Aggro range is global, by the way, so you can click on people far away. This is something else that's cool. Like, let's say that you're in the offlane, you don't see any enemies, you can still click on the mid laner, like really, really far away. And then after this happens, right, you do this, and then you hit it when they're close to you. And then that will drag the creeps like super far back. Like, let's see how this creep's stuck on me. I'll do another demonstration. Um, so the next wave comes, kill things. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna drag these 3 creeps all the way to my tower, right? Like, so first I aggro back onto the ranged. Then these should fight their ranged, but if they don't, then it's fine as well, because I'm gonna do an attack like this, and then see they're on top, they're like stuck on me now, right? Like, look how far back I dragged them, like all this distance. So like you do this, because the creeps prioritize what the closest target attacking them is, but you might have to practice a little bit. I wouldn't do it in this mode. I do it in like an actual lobby, because the hills and stuff are wrong. But like essentially, you want to just drag them and then make an attack when you're more than halfway between the creeps. Like, I'm just doing like one final one. Do this, and then ideally this melee won't be on here, because the melees will always aggro. Because they prioritize melees, I think. But if you have it stop 3 on 3. And then the point is, like, when you do this in lane, what you want to do is, because you don't want them to just deny the ranged or you lose the CS, right? So what you usually do is, this is like what generally happens in lane. You drag here, and then you threaten this deny, and then let's say you deny it, But then afterwards, instead of walking up and then fighting them like 2v1 out of position, you just do that. But if you have a Rubik, you just tell your Rubik to fade bolt the range creep instead, so you don't have to use your like, because you have torrent anyway, right? So it's not really a good spell to use. What am I looking for? Watch, learn. Wait, what? Oh, it's in downloads. Okay. I don't know why I'm being so dumb today. Is this the right game, actually? No, this is definitely not the right game. Sorry about this. Play again. Okay, that's weird. Like, it's so strange. So that's the first thing I'd say for this Kunkka. I'd also say that you generally don't want to level Torrent. You want to take Tidebringer. It's like the better harass spell, but not a big deal. If you secure runes with it, it's fine. Like, that's what I will say. So, like, you generally want to be using your mana a little bit more as Rubik. So, like, after your Kunkka drives back, right, like, guys are here, this is where you want the lane to be. You don't have to fight this treant. You basically just want to stop him from pulling. And the times for pulling is 14, you pull this camp, 17, you pull this camp. So like, you just think about where the treant is. I think you even have a ward team. So as long as he's not pulling, this lane's super fine. You should be harassing the Bloodseeker or denying with him, your Kunkka. Because otherwise, this is just a 1v1 lane. Like, he feels no pressure. The idea is that you play 2v2 here, and then if the treant comes to help him, there's never a pull, right? And then if there's never a pull, then it's like so deep and dangerous. But so he does go for a pull, so now you can test him. The way you can test this isn't like just standing here. I don't really like that. Like, instead of doing that, like, it's really what's it called? Like, it's really sort of telegraphed what he wants to do, right? He puts down this to try and zone you off. You just hit the creeps, like, you run into the thing, it doesn't do that much damage. You can even eat this tree to make it do half damage. And then you hit the creeps, like, and then you drag them down instead of, like, doing this sort of thing. And on Kunkka, I would say as well, like, when you play against Trim Protector, just spam your Quelling Blade on these trees, and then he has less good places to queue. So you block this pull, which is really good. But now he has no opportunity to pull for like 20 seconds or something. So you should run back to lane right now and start just clicking the Bloodseeker or denying with your Kunkka. See, like, this is kind of a pointless situation to be in now because there's nothing to pull. So like, what if you think about what you're doing actually on this Rubik, it's actually nothing, right? Again, same thing, you should have seen him place that ward, but it's fine if you didn't, I guess. It's something to keep try and get into habit of. You see, like, the Bloodseeker doesn't actually have a bad time in lane at all. He's like 5 CS against 7 CS, but like, he should be on much lower because you guys can just chain the 9 creeps together, and now you're kind of out of position here, taking a lot of damage for no reason really. Like, just try and play with your pos 3 a little bit more on Rubik. Like, your main goal is to stop pulls, and if you're not stopping pulls, then you want to make the carry feel bad, right? So that's like the mentality you should be in. Either you should be pulling if the lane is in a bad place. If the lane's in a good place, you stop them from pulling, and any other time, you make them feel bad by denying together or just hitting him over and over again. So I would buy my boots in this lane or magic stick because he's spamming the blood rights a lot, and you probably need boots to escape blood rights. That's a nice deny. I would buy magic stick on you as well. Like, look how much they're spamming. They're using like a lot of spells, right? So try not to fight when like the creeps are. It's like this, right? So you're fighting into 3 creeps and a range creep. This is like fighting into a whole, like, an extra hero. So this is like a 3v2 lane. You should ask a Rubik to secure this range creep for you. You splash it, right? Your Rubik should just bolt it now instead, because look how much damage you take instead. Or like, you would have taken a lot of damage if they played this a little bit smarter, but you end up taking a lot anyway. It's like 400 damage, or Rubik spends 120 mana, which is spent anyway. And now the lane is like problematic because you are regen. I hope you shipped more regen. Okay, salve. The thing is, never buy just a salve if you're low health, because if you salve back to full health, you have no tangers, right? just if you have 100 gold, you should spend 100 gold. Like just buy Salve and Tango. Like you don't need to save money because when by the time the card is back to base, you'll have like 500 gold again, right? So Tangos are always good to buy. Like just try and get into habit of that. And again, Magic Stick is really good in this lane. It's good that you tanked it here, or you tried to tank it, but it's you're just too low health really to make it work. Okay, you can actually fight here if your Rubik helps you. Like, you can do a lot of damage on him at the very least. Like, that's fine. I don't really think you should Fade Bolt for that, especially when you're close to level 3. It makes it do a lot more damage for the same mana, really. So, see, like, when you salve as well, when you use your salve, you should put this into your backpack and then back into your inventory. It's like tread switching for healing, and it's like really easy to do. And get into the habit of like you salve, you press this, and you click it back, and it's 6 seconds. Maybe I'll show you after. If you don't understand what I'm saying now, ping me on Discord afterwards. But I think you know what I'm talking about. I hope. So I think this lane is pretty much whatever, right? Like, you should try and drag more onto the range creep to force bad situations for him. Like here, you try and drag, right? But it doesn't quite work. But there's no reason to just splash him here randomly when, and put their range creep in denied range, because you don't want to push out the lane, because he is actually having a really bad time right now because he has 1 Tango, right? And all you have to do is not push the lane. So like, if you have this on autocast, take it off autocast for starters, and just drag these 3 onto the range, and then your Rubik like threatens a kill on him. Like you sneak behind, and then you can lift him in or something into torrent. Because like right now, he's just gonna have like a fun time. Because the lane's gonna push in, right? Okay, well he's just gonna feed for no reason. But okay, the lane's gonna push in, and then suddenly he can heal on the tower with his thirst. But look how they're playing really bad, right? Like he has to walk back to base, but you can make it. You can like really punish them. Yeah, so good. You guys contest the runes. It's good. Like they are warding so badly. Okay, but yeah. Here the lane's kind of pushed, so you should try and pull on Rubik. I hope you pull this. It's good. You do. Timing's really wrong though. Okay, well, you can just judge it with your eyes. Like I don't actually know the timing on side pulls. I just look at it. Like when the creeps are here, I'll just pull across. If you tank with your body, the aggro range is pretty big. Like I don't know what he's doing. He just stacked. He didn't even stack. But again, here like you're 2v1 against him. So you should probably pressure him more. Like you need to think about what you're doing on Rubik. Like this pull will never work because the equilibrium is all wrong. You guys should communicate as well in situations like this. Like, oh, I want to pull, so push out the wave, right? So that's how that should work. Okay. I don't think there's much more to say about this lane. It's probably just going to look like this for a long time. And the other thing I would say is that it might be a good idea to like when you are low early and start buying a salve, you might want to just X mark and TP home instead, and then bring some items. Saves you some money, and like this spell is not that useful. It's 38 second cooldown spell. You're not going to use it in lane really to harass people. Okay, so let's go back to the start and watch the mid lane. I already said one thing, which is that you should always aggro backwards as ranged heroes against melee heroes, otherwise you don't really pressure them. It's good, but like you want the melee stuck on the range basically, so you can deny it. But it's fine this as well. So you want to blast for the creep here. Just always remember, it's always worth using 85 mana so you don't get you start falling behind on levels and stuff. See, like you would blast for 1 melee creep, but you could have done it earlier for a range creep and it'd already be off cooldown. So here I would like push it into him. Should put this out. Just like stop running up into melee range because you have a ward, right? Like you need to abuse the fact that you have like 630 attack range. Like let's just watch this, right? So you blast him, which is fine, but like look at where you're standing for auto attacks. Like, stop running in. Just stand back here and auto him. You don't need to be so close to him. Then he doesn't trade into you at all. Like you can be doing a lot of more free attacks on him. Like all the time you can just be clicking him. It's range versus melee. You have to pressure him. Otherwise it's really easy lane for him because he has more damage than you. Here again, I think I've already told you this, but you should just Decrepify. Like, how much mana is it? It's 60 mana, right? Like, what else are you gonna use it for? You decrepify him, he misses 3 CS. Like, it's really worth it. Like, even now you can decrepify him. Just make him miss last hits. The whole point of pugging the mid is to make people miss last hits on the tower by decrepifying and constantly pushing out so they can't pressure you and like poking them. Like, this is kind of pointless never blast. Like, the only time you want to never blast is for creeps or if you know that you're gonna hit them, basically. Um, don't just like throw it out randomly. Like, you should never blast for basically every single range creep until you get your bottle. Like here, there's absolutely no reason to buy a salve because he's Magnus and he can't harass you at all in any meaningful way. So, and clarity is not great either. You should just start rushing your bottle. Like here, it's really bad to just blast because it puts this into deny range and use a better play. You just deny it outside your vision. You want to like prep the last hit, right? You hit it a few times yourself and then you blast it or whatever. Like again, I would just like start pushing the lane in while he's like healing, and then that way you can just decrepify him. But I don't want to repeat myself too much. But yeah, I feel like if you're missing like the fundamental concept of the lane, there's not really much for me to say, right? Like it's like if someone plays a hero and doesn't realize it's a carry or something. Again, like minute 4, you should push out the lane just so he can't really contest it without missing a bunch of CS. And if you see that the rune is here and he has no bottle, you can actually just leave it there until you have your bottle, and then you can like box it up as well. Some of these you can be using your Decrepify for. Like earlier, I think you can use like Decrepify to make him take more damage so that he's forced to base earlier. So now you get your cart timing. I will try and pressure his tower now. Okay, you're gonna take the bounty room. That's also fine. I would buy your second null talisman or your before your boots really, but again, it's like you leave a creep on deny range. He's not even denying it, but never do that. It's a really bad habit to be in. Here you basically want to push in the lane, either to pressure the tower or to make him miss the rune. So now you just start running to one side, like just gambling. I'm not sure what this is. Okay, so you find it, rune, but you just need to push more so that he can't contest at all, because good players will contest you a little bit more aggressively than this when they see you have bottle. Yeah, this is like a bread and butter Magnus combo. Try and stay out of it. Like just skewer shockwave. Like just remember you're ranged. Always play like a ranged hero. Okay. This is just some questionable lasting, but it's not a big deal. Now is a good time to buy clarities and raindrops though, if you want some casual mana regen. Just fast forward a little bit more, I guess. That's the tower. That's the creeps. See, like, you need to push out the lane and start camping a rune or using your wards. Okay, I mean, this is just like really some really fundamental things, right? Like hitting your CS and using your spells to help you instead of just like randomly missing CS like this. A lot of the time as well, you don't account for his skewer. Like, you just keep standing really close to him for some reason. Like I don't know why he's playing like this as well. Like, but you should always like. Okay, so let's say I don't know. Like first of all, I wouldn't do this play because he has skewer. Like he's just gonna skewer out, right? But if you ever choose to do something like this, like open with your blast always, because he makes a mistake here where he wastes all his mana, but he still doesn't die because he didn't blast. So, and try and get the blast like on the tower as well as the catapult, right? Like, because you can just put it like, you know, like here the blast, right? Why do you have to blast the catapult like that? Try and put your blast so that it splashes on the creeps you want and the carts. Because you could have gotten the tower a lot earlier. You could have gotten like a lot more blasts on this tower, for sure. I mean, it's just like trying to combine your Q as well, if he doesn't have skewer. He ends up dying somehow. Like right now, you just walk up on this high ground and start spamming your spell like outside range. Like while he's dead. You don't have to have the creep wave with you. You can just stand up here and blast it. Okay, well, it's like just a really late tower against a melee hero or like a bad player, however you want to call it. Minute 12 should be like minute 8 or 9 or something like that. But yeah, just mainly think about your aggro and your positioning, and think about why you use the spells in the way that you do, because a lot of them don't make sense, and like it's just the itemization is a little bit off as well, like the salve, and you need to nulls or magic stick against this guy because he spams in power, and you also need to push out the wave a little bit faster so that you can test bounty runes, and just try and position your blast a little bit better, and then think about the order in which you use your spells as well, and also what counterplay that he has available, because sometimes you just spam it onto him when he has skill up. So the last lane is this disruptor. I already said that you probably shouldn't get these items and you probably shouldn't be dying, right? I don't know why he... Wait, did I miss like some stuff? Yeah, I did, because you died, so... Here, like, you should TP into lane, maybe? Like, it seems like, oh, I'll just walk all this way, right? But now you're gonna miss a lot of XP, and they're gonna have like a good time for the first wave against a drought, which should never happen. I don't know why he isn't using his Q. That's kind of absurd. So here, the lane is like, I mean, it's like a fucking Zeus Spectre lane, so you can just attack them basically. Like, you're just kind of running around, right? Like, why are you not helping your drought right now? Like, she has frost arrows. Drought's like one of the best 2v2 game heroes in the game, you know? Like, just look what you're doing right now. This is not really how POS 5 is played. Like, you don't really just stand here and just pull. Like, you should do things while you're waiting that to happen. That's a nice half pull, by the way. So this is fine. You can even pull through here because they're so like disorientated. Like, they're so far up, right? Or you can cut this tree and try and pull the hard camp maybe. So now the lane's going to push in really hard. It's just like random, right? This isn't really how you play side lanes. You want to combine your spells and like combo people out, you know, like, so she's going to be slowing someone with this like 32% slow frost arrows, right? And then you put your Q on them and then you E them and you hang together and they're having problems. Like, you focus one guy 2v1, they can't fight back 2v1 because like they melee on one guy and this guy can't, you know, like, you wasted the first 2 minutes doing nothing, unfortunately, and then now you're kind of just using a Q at random points. Like, I know this guy's not on the stat, but when he is, you guys should always try and communicate, like, oh, I'm gonna frost arrow someone, or attack this guy, attack this guy. This is a little bit better, like, you want to push them out a little bit, so you get a uncontested hard camp pull here. I really, like, you shouldn't pull the small camp if you have a stacked hard camp, right? Like, that seems kind of obvious to me, but yeah, you always want to pull the thing that's stronger whenever it's possible. Like, the lane's so pushed in they can't contest, so you should pull the hard camp instead. I don't know if you know about this pull, but you just cut this tree basically and you run it across. Try in a lobby. It's quite easy to learn. So here it's like the Spectre is just kind of free farming for no reason at all. But I mainly blame your draw, to be honest, more than anyone else, because he doesn't seem to understand that Frost Arrow is his fucking broken spell. But you know, whatever. What are you buying on the career here? Whole magic wand. It's not bad against Zeus, but I think I already talked last time about magic wand is usually a bad item. Good bounty run contest, it's very nice. Here you can just stack and pull, it's fine. Stack, pull, yeah. You get denied a lot. But like, it's just like, it's kind of like you understand how to make the lane into a favorable state for you, but you don't really use it. Like, so last time I think I talked about how you would make it so that you win your lane, right, by having the creeps in a favorable position. But you can't just have the creeps in a favorable position. It's like the enemy just stop playing the game or something. Like, you still have to fight them. Like, the point is, you put them in a position which is bad for them, and then you 2v1 them and use your spells on them over and over again. Yeah, like, don't spend this much time pulling. See if I can find an example in a second. Okay, you guys are pressuring the tower. It's all good. Yeah, I think not much else to say about this lane. You guys didn't really pressure them properly at all. Like, yeah, but it's like it's both. It's kind of Trowel's fault as well, so not a big deal. So you guys have Pugner, right? Pugner should probably go top at this moment in time and push this tower down with his team. Like the mid laner doesn't always have to be mid every second of the game. Um, so minute 9:30, the Pugner should go top, or the Disruptor should go top, and you guys should take this tower at minute 10 to catapult. So let's see if you do that. Minute 10 catapult, you always want to take the safe from the tower because it opens up the map for your carry to farm very well. So you shouldn't have 2 people here, you should have 3 people here at least. Like Disruptor should be here in his team. You guys should push his 3 and you tell your Drow to go jungle basically. But either Disruptor has to be there or Pugner has to be there. And if they, so let me explain what this is, right? If you kill this tower, your carry can come play this lane with so many jungle camps in a close vicinity. Because otherwise you can't. Because if he farms this and they have a tower here, they'll just TP people in and kill him, right? I think I talked about this last time, but you want to force with the catapults because heroes usually can't do it unless you're Pugner, which I mean you have Pugner in this game anyway. Um, so minute 9, you usually rotate your position 5 over, and then you tell your carry to play really safe and just hit jungle creeps, and then you push this tower down. And after you push this tower down, the offlaners will go to the safe lane essentially and play in this. It's called the dead lane. Maybe Google it. It's like some BSJ thing. I think it explains it quite well. Basically, this lane is quite bad. It's like the enemy team will want to fight here basically, so you don't want your carry to be here. You'll just die. Um, yeah, you just need to use your heroes in a way that's like. This is gonna be like some really fucked up way of putting it, but I think it's called like. So like during like 18th century Europe or something, it's like people came up with this idea of warfare called the oblique attack, I think it's called, where it's like if you and your opponents have the same amount of forces, if you like put most of your forces on one flank, um, that flank will start to overwhelm them, right? And then because you're winning over there, like eventually you're gonna because like say it's like in Dota, right? Just as a hypothetical, like let's say everyone lanes 2-1-2, so like 2 in the top lane, 1 in the mid lane, 1 in the bot lane, right? If at one moment in time you bring 3 people top, 1 person mid, and 1 person bot playing passive, so that he gets XP but no gold, right? Or like more likely a carry jungling, which is less gold than the lane, but it's still some gold, right? And XP. In this 3v2 lane, you're probably going to be killing them 3v2, and they can't farm at all, and you'll take their tower, so it's really strong, right? 1v1 mid lane is even, and you're going to be getting carry, a little bit of gold here, so you're going to be winning one lane super hard, you're going to be drawing one lane, and you're going to be kind of drawing one lane, essentially. If you put 4 people top, 1 person mid, like, they still don't get that much gold off this lane, right? Because one of them is a support, they're not farming. So that's the whole idea. You want to combine your forces to like overwhelm them and win like local battles so that you're winning the game overall. And the main way to do that is to group around catapults because they give you like an end game. You win a fight and you take a tower, you start taking map control. And once you take map control, the game is really easy to play. But yeah, it's just like you guys have no tier 1 towers, so it's kind of difficult. And your Drow is constantly playing in this lane. Your Drow should be top. The idea of Dota is that you want to gain as much gold as possible across your team. If you gain more gold than the enemy team, you're winning. It doesn't matter what people individually want to do. Like, the way I would put this is, if you think about these ancients, they're the most gold on the map, right? Like these creeps give the most gold per health as well, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, generally speaking, they give the most gold. This is called the triangle because the creeps camps are very close to each other. There's the ancients, which are an efficient way to farm, the hard camp, which is an efficient way to farm, and the small camp, which is an efficient way to farm. Add in as well this hard camp, which wasn't too far away, and this small camp, and this wave. This is by far the most gold-rich area on the map. The fact that no one farms ancients for 13 minutes, that means that that's 13 times the ancients cannot respawn. Now, for the first, like, let's say 10 minutes, no one can farm the ancients anyway. They're too strong. Or, like, even if you farm them, it's kind of a waste of time, right? It's not. Because the lane creeps are easier, blah, 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 like all this shit, right? But when the drow gets 6, she gets a very easy way to farm the ancients, because this does a lot of damage. So, your drow should always be farming the ancients. If you have a hero that can farm the ancients, which you almost always should, it should be your carry or your mid. Every minute that the ancients go unfarmed, your team loses like 300 gold. That's how you have to think about it. Ideally, you want to farm 3 lanes and every jungle camp in the game. Obviously, that's not possible, but as many as possible. That's how you want to think about the game. So you might think that this is all fine, like Drow's farming a camp and a wave, right? And your mid's farming and these guys are farming. But like, here's what I propose to you. Say minute 10 you take this catapult, and you push down this tower, and your position 5 comes over here with a smoke or something. This might be too complicated, but okay. I'm going to give you the best case scenario, and you guys can work out what you want to do first. Because you don't have to execute the full combo, like every single part of the plan, but do it like step by step, right? Like do one thing at a time. Okay, so the first thing is minute 9:20ish, you want to rotate either your mid or your position 5 to the off lane. But you don't want to show yourself. Then you tell your carry to play safe on this lane. Even if you rotate your mid, tell your carry to play safe, because their mid lane is going to want to be ganking and stuff like that. So, yeah. Usually you want to rotate your pos 5. If your game is going really badly, you rotate your mid, because you basically want to win a 3v2. And if your game is going so badly that a 3v2 isn't winning, then you need your mid, right? Because your mid is stronger than your pos 5. And if your mid isn't strong enough to win a 3v2, then you need both. Like, you just need anything to win up here. So you TP up here and you kill them like fast, right? Like use whatever spells you need, you kill them before they can react. Because what happens after that is that this guy's gonna be dead for 20 seconds, right? And then he can't TP back in, and like even if they TP more people in, they're still outnumbered. And you want to have one ward behind the tower as well during this play, which you have at the moment. If, for example, you fail and you don't kill them fast, and they TP everyone in, think about whether that's a good thing or not. The answer is that it is a good thing, because then their carry is splitting XP with all his supports and offlaners and mids and whatever, and they're all stuck here on this like lane where there's no farm, right? Like they can't all farm here, and your carry is going to be free farming now because he sees that everyone's TP'd out, right? So like your off lane and your pos 5 and your pos 4 are going to be sad. It's like, oh, we're 3v4 up here or whatever, but now your mid and your carry, one of them is going to be free farming, and they're all going to be stuck here splitting XP with their cores. So if they TP up here, it's fine. You just basically back and go do something else. Or you defend this tower with a ward, because basically you want to kill their catapult, and then if there are 4 people up here, they still can't push your tower, right? Now, the other play you can make is you quickly nuke out this wave, and then you smoke to mid. Because if they all TP'd up here, they can't be mid. So you smoke to mid with your mid lane, and then you 3v1 their mid, and then you take the tower. That's like that's another play you can do, but that might be a little bit more difficult. After you take this tower, you place 1 ward in their deep jungle. You usually smoke for it as well. So you smoke 2 or 3 people into their jungle, you place a ward, and you try and kill someone, like just anyone. If you can't kill someone here, you can like check mid. If you can't kill someone mid, you can like use the 10-minute catapult. Like you can even take 2 towers with the catapult, because the mid catapult usually doesn't die. But yeah, if you don't, you can either smoke and place a ward here, or you can just walk here. Because for your carry to farm this, he still has to see the enemy coming, right? Like it's still kind of dangerous to farm here when they can be standing up on the outpost and just kill her. So you place a wall for your carry, and then your carry just farms like crazy. And then the enemy team usually wants to make the symmetrical play, so they try and push this tower, and then you bring 4 people bot and defend and fight, and you de-ward their ward, right? So if anything doesn't make sense, just message me and say which part doesn't make sense. But that's like the ideal mid game. And it all revolves around using your forces in like a concentrated manner and just farming really hard. So this is good. This is like this is the play I was talking about, but this is like 3 minutes late because now you have no car. But it can work because you have Pugner. This is like the one exception to the rule, right? Because Pugner can siege. So this guy wants to do this. One little trick I'll tell you on pause 3 right now that I do all the time is instead of just hitting the creeps here, I drag them into the small camp and I farm both at once. So I like pull for them and then I farm. Or I pull into the hard camp and I farm. If I'm ever having a really good lane, I'll do it over and over again. It gives you a lot of gold. So essentially, this is at the point where you tell your Drow to just play in the triangle and AFK jungle, but because he's a random, But I'm saying like if, right? So you want to take this tower fast, like you want to kill any defenders. You want to take this tower. So Bloodseeker's in. Okay, look at the situation. You see that these people are in, right? Why is Kunkka over here hitting a medium camp? You guys can 4v2 them and kill them both right now, and the next TP it takes 5 seconds. This is like too slow a play. Like Kunkka should not be over there, and you guys shouldn't be backing on Disruptor. Like, where's Disruptor going? Like, just 4v2 them and then take the tower. This is why the game feels slow and difficult, because your Drow never gets an area to farm like this. You had a perfect opportunity to kill them all, but now they can TP more people in, right? And you got dewarded as well, I think. So yeah, try and really, if you guys have like a shot call or something, um, someone has to basically make these big calls, like, Dude, I'm like losing my voice. Oh boy. Halberd Rush is kind of bad as well. It's like too all in an item. You don't want to buy anything that's like got a big recipe usually because it's like not efficient. You want to buy some like small item like drums or do people buy on Kunkka nowadays? Like even like armlet is good, right? Just some like small stat item is usually better than buying like a huge item because like your hero's strong, right? You want your lane, you want to push your advantage, and then you spend like 20 minutes buying one item. So the thing about net worth is like this. Um, if you have 6k net worth, but 1500 of it is in the bank or spent on these like inefficient items with recipes or like, because you never want to buy small items, right? Let me explain it like this actually. So look at Sanj. Would you pay 2050 gold for this if it didn't build into anything? No, right? Like obviously not. And Talisman of Evasion, you wouldn't spend 1400 gold on this item if it didn't build into anything, right? But the idea is like it builds into Halberd, so like eventually it becomes a good item because like, oh, look at this, like it combines, right? And then suddenly the stats look passable, like reasonable, and it's got a good active. But up until you have 3850 gold, all you're buying is Sanj and Talisman of Evasion. I don't know if that makes sense, but basically, if I do something like drums, right? 450 gold for this is not bad. It's much better than Sanj or Talisman. This is also really good. A lot of people buy this like just randomly. Windlace is obviously really good, and it's a 600 gold recipe. And overall, the item is 1,475 gold. So when you buy these 3 items, you don't feel bad. And then you spend 600 gold to make you feel really happy. So like small items are just really efficient and good. Same with armlet. Like big items, it's like why you don't see anyone like, let's say like they just rush like a satanic or something, right? Like because this is just too difficult to buy and you start losing your tempo. Same with like why Radiance has kind of fallen out of favor because you basically spend 5,000 gold on something instead of like building your lead, right? It's like why everyone buys Manta on Spectre now instead of Radiance, even though Radiance is like a pretty good item on Spectre. It cancels everything in the game. Anyway, this is just too slow. And you guys have no smokes on you. Position 5 should get into a habit of carrying smokes on them. And as well, you guys should probably try and value Tranquil Boots a little bit more. I don't know if this is common, but Tranquil Boots are really, really strong on supports. I would probably have 1 Mana Boots on someone this game, but Tranks are so, so fucking good. It's unreal. I think I will talk about warding and dewarding at a separate time because right now it's like really bad, right? But it's kind of difficult thing to cover, so I'll talk about that some other time. It's also a very complicated concept, so let's kill this tower. Let's go. Let's go. Kunkka needs to stop being here. Just pull it into here. Be near your team. Play the game. Never ever walk up high ground like this, especially when you see them. Like you have vision, right? You have vision on them. Then you just walk up high ground anyway. It's like super random as Rubik because you're ranged hero. Like, just remember when you have range hero with cast ranges, like play behind your cores and let them tank for you. Well, I don't know why you two ran away here. It's like no coordination here. You guys shouldn't even be trying to push a tier 2 tower because this tier 2 tower doesn't open any part of the map. If I let me think, what would I do in this case? I would go smoke right now to bot lane. Um and try and kill their carry in here or kill their Zeus. I definitely wouldn't be up here because you want your Drow to be farming here. Like you can go mid and pressure the tier 2 probably is a better play. This kind of this, and X mark him, and torrent him. Put static storm. Guys could have glimpsed the Spectre as well, I think. But yeah. Just watch the raiding show. It's just like your supports kind of just like grouping around your Drow. You want to play away from your Drow. Like you guys should walk together as 4 people. Like this Zeus should be dead right now. Like one guy should TP in and you glimpse him back and he's dead. No one can TP to help him. Right? Like it's kind of pointless what some of you are doing right now. Like the 3 of you just standing here and then can get TPs to this lane that Drow can farm. You never want to TP to a lane where your Drow can farm. And then Rubik TPs in as well, I guess, to fight the Magnus. Okay, this is fine, but like you should be doing this on Zeus instead, because yeah, just don't split XP with your core in the top lane. For Dire, it's this lane. You don't want to play there. You want your carry to play there only your carry. Here I would probably salve in case Zeus like ults you and Spectre ults you. Like why wouldn't you just salve right now? It's kind of right, like whatever. It's like super random and deep place to be here. Like, why would you ever be here, really? Doesn't make sense. But yeah, overall your mid game just lacks a little bit of killer edge, you know, like you never smoke to do something, you're always just like walking around randomly, like people standing in weird places. Like the idea of the mid game is that after you take the towers, you keep smoking around and placing more aggressive vision and killing people. And then you start occupying high ground areas together. Like you walk together as a team, you like get to here, right? And then you farm their jungle together, and then you stand on this way high ground together so that they can't de-ward you or whatever. Like your supports are so far ahead of your tanks, basically, even though they're not really tanks. Like, and don't forget how huge the glimpse range is. A lot of the time you don't abuse it. When you're attacking uphill like this, always smoke for it. You have vision here, but yeah. Where's the Disruptor going? I want to kill the Zeus here, right? So a little bit of split fighting. So after you kill them, what should you do? Because you're not going to force mid tier 2 and you're not going to do Roche. You should actually kill their jungle camps while you're here and put down vision and also defend this area. So the end game of Dota is usually you guys occupy this area with like 3 heroes and you farm these camps, and then one guy goes here and he cuts this wave, so he kills this wave, and then you cut this wave as well, you kill this wave. So you're farming 3 camps and 2 waves, so the enemy can't even split push like mid and here, and then your carry's still farming here, and then they're really fucked, right? Like where would they go? If they go 5-man top to kill a carry, they get spotted by vision, or if they smoke, then it's kind of obvious, right? Like no one's showing on the map. What the fuck? And otherwise, they farm these 2 camps. Like, so sad for them. But let's see. Oh, I guess we can talk about that later at a future point, like about same video as the wards, right? But the idea, I'll just say it in advance. Like a lot of the time when I'm playing, I just stand on the high ground and just wait for like 20 seconds or something, or even longer. A lot of the time when I'm playing like Dire, what I do is I literally walk like here, like just patrolling, and my team are just farming up here, and all I have to do is break smokes, and I die as I'm dying, I put a ward here so that we have advantage in the team fight, and I buy back instantly. But this is like high level concept, but it's about patience. Siege this tower. Like you just need to use your smokes more. Like right now, like your disruptor gets caught pretty much solo on a ward, for no reason at all. Like you guys just so at this moment in the game, what you do is let me just tell you about the smokes. Okay, so the first smoke you use is around minute, let's say, like minute 12, right? Usually smoke and you place one ward here, so your carry can farm after you take the tower and you kill someone, maybe. Next smoke you use is like kind of whatever, like minute 12 to 20, whenever you feel like you just smoke and try and kill their carry in their area of the map, just so that he's not free farming. And then minute 20, when your carry has 2 items usually and feeling strong, ready to fight, use your minute 20 smoke to patrol this area and put down vision. Now, try and think about why that is, right? I'll give you a hint. It's why Radiant has 55% win rate and Die has 45% win rate. It's because, let me see if I can draw on the map. Essentially, Dota is not like, at first, this is how the game is, right? Like Dire controls this area of the map. Radiant controls this area of the map. After the towers are taken, think about what that changes into. It becomes like, sort of like this, right? Like Radiant controls this part of the map, but Dire controls this part of the map. But like, look where Roche is. Roche is under Radiant control. That's why Radiant has such a high win rate. They always get Roches and they win the game off it. Minute 20, when everyone is ready, you smoke into here and you kill anyone. It doesn't matter. You find one person, you kill him. And then you put down vision and you do Roche. And then you siege tier 2s, and then you camp up here for a bit, and then you siege tier 3s with your Aegis, or you go back to farm some more. Like, it's very cookie cutter Dota. But if you want to talk about like more micro level decisions, like your Pugner is just playing way too far forwards, like, and your Kunkka isn't shielding his cores. Like, it's fine to stand here on Kunkka, but you want to be in front of your squishy players all the time. Like again, it's like your team are doing something mid and you're not with them, so they're all gonna die now. You should never come here to farm this. Like, worst case scenario, you buy some TPs and you X mark yourself down here to push it out, but the fact that you're not here means everyone dies, basically. So yeah, like never. That's the other thing. Never show yourself on 3 lanes. If you show yourself on 3 lanes, someone will die. Just remember that. Because the enemy won't just allow you to farm everything when they see like you split up like this. So right now you should be smoke ganking the Spectre. You have wards on her, vision on her. Like, it's kind of pointless for Kunkka to be one man doing this. You should probably finish your Silver Edge on Kunkka as well against Spectre. Let's have a look at the item builds real quick. Ags is like fine. This is all fine. I don't hate it. I do hate this though, because you should have disassembled. I think you already told me you should have, but yeah, you want to upgrade this thing into Magic Wand at some point in the game. And what does Pink have? Yeah, I was disrupt time. Yeah, this is fine as well. I don't mind it. During team fights, you usually want to put down some wards, like, even though it doesn't give you any like reasonable vision, like in terms of the game, but like just whenever a fight starts, or whenever you smoke, you want a ward. Like, so you smoke somewhere, and then as you're going up high ground, use your scan or you use a ward just to see, so you don't break your smoke. And when a fight starts, you just place a ward anywhere, and it makes it easier to catch their backliners and whatever. It doesn't matter if it gets instantly ward or if it's fucking useless ward. That's why you carry a few wards in more times as well. So yeah, now you basically want to choke them out of the game. I assume what happens is you guys just like rush up the high ground and play like super random. But yeah, like you guys should just be camping here together as a team and then doing Roche. Like, it's crazy that it's minute 28 and no one's even tried to do Roche yet with a Drow and a Kunkka tank. I don't think there's much more for me to say without overwhelming. Maybe we'll have a look at 1 or 2 examples of the things I said, just so you get an idea, right? Like, this is how confident I am in myself. I'm just gonna click professional tournament, and let's see. Yes, Los Angeles. Why not? What is this? Isn't there like some pro scene going on right now? Like some wait, am I? Oh yeah, ESL German, of course. So let's watch some Team Secret, yes? So the first thing I wanted to highlight was how the pos 3 and the pos 4 and the pos 1 and the pos 5 in lane work together. Let's see. I don't know why it's taking so long. Replay usually doesn't take so long to download, but okay. So let's have a look at how Team Secret plays, right? In my opinion, the best team in the world right now, by far. Okay, so some draft going on. Like, let's see. So we got Drow CM, right? I look at them. The Drow is constantly attacking the centaur, right? With the frost arrows. So frost arrow, and then as you're doing that, you know, like they're combining their spells so that people are getting like really fucked up. I mean, it's not really working out here because the lane's too far up, but like, it's like the idea, right? This is like some aggressive tri lane that they're running. And as well, just look at how the supports are positioning. It's like they're not just like running around randomly. Like this guy's kind of running around, but it's the position is Fissure, and this guy's always playing behind his Drow unless he needs to contest pulls. And like you see, like when they see that no one's pulling, they just make the lane hard to play in for the enemy team. Like see, like trying to deny the guy. This guy's contesting a pool now. And then otherwise you just make it so that the enemies can't come to lane, right? This is not just like randomly running around. So like now is like a pool timing. So they can't contest it, but it's a single pool, so they know that it's like fine to do. Like all they have to do is make sure they don't miss any XP here. And then Drow is just having a great time. But if the Centaur was over here, then one support would be over here as well. Let's just check for the minute 9. Let's have a look. So minute 9, they bring 3 people bot, I think it is, maybe? Let's see. So they've got a cart. Let's see where they take this. So they kill Centaur. I don't know. Okay, now they kill Centaur with the Evoker. Okay, so they got the cart. And they're going to push with the cart, basically. Maybe not, actually. I guess this game, they don't push with the cart for some reason. I don't actually know why. Okay, well, but like, you see they like smoke people top. I guess because they don't really need the card damage in this game. So, but like, they bring a lot of people top, right? And they fight top, and they kill them top, right? Then, as soon as they kill them top, they take the tower together. See, no one's splitting from the group, really. And now watch where Drow farms for the rest of the game. Brap. Ancients. They farm this ancient stack together. You see, like, so much gold. More ancients. Over to mid lane for a second. They take the mid tower together, like overwhelming numbers, right? You want to farm enemy ancients if you're winning the game super hard, like she is now. But otherwise, you want to just farm here and then just gonna farm upwards into the wave. It's like, see, like this is like ideal carry gameplay, you know. And then the other 4 people, like you see, they're not playing behind her. They're sort of making space elsewhere. See like how early they start to just like contest the Roshan, right? Like, see, the first smoke was like minute 9, like I said, and then the next one is like kind of now to just get the Roche. They just start fighting around here, and then the enemy team has to group around here. They get the Roche, and like the game's over, right? This is how you want to play. That's why Radiant's so strong. Whenever you start threatening the Roche, they all have to come over to this side of the map that they don't really want to play in. And they can't even farm or do anything like reasonable. They just have to stand there. Because the moment they leave, you guys just run into Roche and you take Roche. And then you have Aegis on your carry. And you take some tier 2s and you win that way instead. But yeah, it's just about movement, smoking, staying together as a pack, protecting your supports, positioning well on supports. It's like a lot of different things as well. Let's have a look at this game. Just for like example of the cart timing that I was talking about, because it didn't happen in that game for whatever reason. So put it on farm, both teams. Underlord's got his cart, right? See, they're TPing people in to defend it, right? Like they've TP'd a bunch of people in. just to defend against the cart. They actually managed to kill him. But now they have all their cores in the same lane, splitting farm, like mid, carry, everyone, right? So instead, they're probably gonna pressure bot instead now. Because they know they have no TPs, right? Well, it doesn't really work out in this case, but the point still stands. Like, you just want to bring like overwhelming numbers to a play, like whenever you choose to do a play. And then it's going to be the same thing as well. Like, the troll, as soon as he doesn't feel safe in his lane, he goes to top lane instead, and he starts farming here. Like, see, every single carry will change his lane, because he doesn't want to play in that bot lane. It's like too dangerous. And then as soon as you are strong enough to farm Ancients, then you farm Ancients. See, like, the Ancients are like the priority, right, for him. Like, he's joining the fights, right, but once he gets his battle fury, he just farms Ancients, hard camp, Ancients, join the fight, and then run back to top. Like, this is how you want to play as a carry, and this is how you want to facilitate the rest of the team. And then Radiant side, you know, like, you win a fight, you start throwing throws. Like, yeah. But just work on it one thing at a time. Just ask me if you don't understand something.